Before maps, roads, compasses, or even the idea of countries, humans somehow moved across the world. They crossed forests, deserts, frozen land, rivers, mountains, and coastlines with no signs pointing the way. No one handed them a map and said, "There is another continent over there." They just kept moving. But that raises a strange question. How do you travel across a planet when you do not even know what a planet is? Today, traveling feels simple because the world has been explained for us. We have maps, borders, airports, road signs, satellites, and tiny blue dots that tell us where we are. And somehow, we still get lost in parking lots. But ancient humans had none of that. They could not zoom out and see the earth from above. They did not know where the land ended, where the next river was, or whether the strange mountains ahead meant shelter or death. A valley could be a path. A forest could be a trap. A coastline could lead to food or to nowhere. Every new place was a question with teeth. So the strange part is not that humans traveled. Animals migrate too. The strange part is that humans kept moving into places they could not imagine, using only memory, fear, hunger, and the shape of the world around them. The simple answer is, they walked. And yes, for most of human history, walking was the engine of expansion. One group moved a little farther. Their children moved farther again. Then their children did the same. But they walked does not explain enough. You cannot cross a desert by just walking. You cannot survive a frozen plain by just walking. You cannot find your way back by just hoping. Ancient humans needed something better than speed. They needed patterns. Water flows downhill. Animals return to feeding grounds. Birds follow seasons. Stars stay strangely loyal. The world was not a map yet, but it was full of clues. Imagine a small group walking beside a river. They do not know where the river ends, but they know one thing: water means life, so they follow it. Along the banks there are fish, animals, plants, softer ground, and fewer chances of dying from thirst. A river is not a road, but to an ancient human it was close enough. Now imagine another group near the coast. The ocean is terrifying, but the edge of the land is useful. Shellfish, birds, fish, freshwater streams, caves, and open views. If you keep the water on one side, you do not need a drawn map. The coastline itself becomes the line. In colder places, humans may have followed herds. If reindeer, horses, or bison moved toward food, humans could move behind them. Not because the animals were giving directions, but because they were solving the same problem. Where is the next meal? At night, the sky helped too. Stars returned to the same places again and again. The sun rose from one side and disappeared on the other. The moon changed shape, but not randomly. Even without astronomy, people could notice rhythm. A bright star, a mountain shape, a river bend, a strange tree, a rock that looked like an animal. These things became memory anchors. And the real map was not carried in the hand. It was carried in the group. An elder remembered where the berries grew. A hunter remembered where the animals crossed. Someone remembered the dangerous swamp. Someone else remembered that beyond the ridge there was water. They probably shared these directions as stories. Not, walk 12 miles north. More like, follow the river until the split tree, turn toward the red cliffs, avoid the place with biting insects, and when the birds gather, the lake is close. So ancient travel was not one heroic person marching across the globe. It was thousands of tiny decisions. Follow water, follow food, avoid danger, remember what worked, tell the children, move again. The world became known one landmark, one mistake, and one surviving group at a time. But here's the twist. Ancient humans probably did not think they were traveling across the world. That idea only makes sense when you already know there is a world to cross. To them, it was smaller than that. One dry season forced them farther down a river. One herd disappeared over a ridge. One beach had fewer shells, so they followed the coast. One valley became too crowded, too cold, too dangerous, or too empty. So they moved. Not to make history, not to discover continents, just to stay alive. And after enough generations, those small movements became enormous. A family looking for water became a migration. A hunting trip became a new homeland. A frightened group leaving danger became another branch of humanity. The world was not crossed in one great journey. It was crossed by people who usually had no idea how far the next step would eventually go. So ancient humans traveled across the world because they were incredibly good at reading the world directly. They followed rivers, coastlines, animals, stars, seasons, and stories. They did not need to understand the whole planet. They only needed to understand the next safe move. And when enough people made enough of those moves, across enough time, humanity slowly turned survival into global travel. Before maps, the first map was not paper. It was memory. It was a river bend, a broken tree, a certain star, a place where someone almost died and everyone remembered why. Ancient humans did not conquer the world by knowing where they were going. They did it by noticing what the world kept whispering back. And maybe the strangest part is this. The planet was discovered by people who were mostly just trying not to get lost.